Good morning, everybody. I know, but I can't talk loud.
All right, well, that's good. That's good. It's Bonnie and Mark in the back. We're ready to start. I know. We got a ton of really great content, so I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here this afternoon. So welcome everyone in person and online to our Small Business Solutions Hub program on Marketing is Your Business. I'm Paige Walters. I'm our Director of Advocacy and Economic Development here at the Springfield Chamber. We're really excited to have you join us for this insightful session focused on empowering small businesses with effective branding strategies, AI, and marketing tools. And I know that's a lot to cover in two 20-minute presentations, why we're getting us going. These are micro learning sessions, let's remember. So if you have more questions or want to follow up with our speakers, we'll make sure that you have their contact info. Here at the Springfield Chamber of Commerce, we pride ourselves on being the resource hub for business. We have 800 members, and these are small businesses and big businesses and nonprofits and government agencies and civic leaders and everything in between that you can imagine. So if you have a question about your business, I guarantee you, we know who you should talk to. We started this Small Business Solutions Hub program as a platform to connect our members with the resources that exist within our membership. We've got a digital hub that does that. It has links to resources, program recordings, a lot of great information on there. I encourage you to check it out. And we've got these quarterly programs that are bringing top of mind content and tools and resources directly to you. So thank you to all of our Small Business Solutions Hub sponsors. They're on that webpage. They've got resources listed under the profiles. They're helping us do this work. These include Ask Eric. Eric's in the room, IT technology. We've got Belfour Property Restoration, Chambers Construction, Eugene Area Radio Stations, Hirschner Hunter Attorneys, Oregon Community Credit Union, and WaFd Bank. Thank you guys so much for helping us do this work. And IEQ Technology for sponsoring the lunch today. Yeah. You haven't tried the kolaches, they're my favorite. And last but certainly not least, our title sponsor, Kaiser Permanente, who has been supporting this work since we launched it in 2022 with just an idea. We went to them, we said, this is what we want to do to support small business. They were super excited. That's a key priority of theirs. And they've been supporting this work ever since. So I just want to turn it over to Colleen Lawson for a couple of words of welcome from Kaiser Permanente.
Thank you. Let's see this whole room. I get to get up here once a quarter to say thanks to the team and all of you. The only news I have really about Kaiser Permanente is we've expanded our network, and now all of Peace Health is in our network for our traditional plans, and we have several new physicians. So access to primary care in Lane County has been really constricted, and I continue to hear that as I have conversations while I'm out at meetings like this, and it's really challenging. So we're very excited to bring our model of care, which is based in primary care, to Lane County. And if you have any questions about small group plans, tends to be kind of this time of the year that people are thinking about having plans or offering plans or renewing plans in January, but you can do it any time of the year. We have great rates on small group plans, so tap me if you have any questions, but I'm looking forward to the content today. So thank you to the presenters and everybody for being here. Thanks.
So we're joined today by two resource experts in the field of marketing, which I know is a really broad topic. We're starting off with Dana Turell, and she'll be followed by Casie Brabham with the SBDC. Dana is the founder and president of Turell Group, creative services marketing agency in Eugene. She's got more than 2 decades of marketing experience and expertise. She thrives on building relationships and serving clients and contributing to our community in a variety of ways. She volunteers for a whole list of organizations, which I'm not going to list out loud, Dana, but she has also worked with our chamber on our rebrand project, which we were really, really thrilled about. So you might notice some new logos in the room since the last year. So she's a great resource, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say today, Dana.
Thank you. Okay, before I get too far into it, I want to make sure everybody has a copy of this worksheet. I think I left enough on each table, but in case I didn't, there's more up here. And I have some in my hand, and Mary Ann has some in the back. So raise your hand if you need one. You good? Okay. So, again, my name is Dana Turell, and before I get started, I have my Mary Ann shoes on today. I wore these just for you, Mary Ann. They, remind me of you when I wear them. They're very sparkly, and Mary Ann just sparkles everywhere she goes, right? Turell Group has been around for 11 and a half years, so we're working on 12. Before that, I was at a different marketing agency in town here. Before that, I worked in Hollywood and New York City at some various other marketing jobs. So yes, that 2 decades plus is where I'm at this point, which is like, wow, makes me feel old, but that's okay. I'm seasoned, right? I'm experienced.
Vintage.
Not quite vintage.
Expert.
All right, thanks. So Turell Group is a marketing and communications company, and I'm gonna stop for a minute and explain that because there's a term these days, and I actually just learned this, and maybe you all know this term, but in academia anyway, what they call what we do now is integrated marketing communications. Have you heard that? IMC. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you, until recently, and we've been saying we've been doing it, so hey, that's good. Back in like Mad Men days, you know, where there were the advertising companies, and then there was like the PR companies, and everybody was a little bit siloed in what they did and specialized in certain areas. It just has changed. And all of it is kind of done under, you can either think of it all under one umbrella, either that or under one foundation. And for me, that foundation and umbrella is brand. So I think these disciplines have come together for communications, public relations, creative, advertising, those kinds of things have come under the umbrella because we all realized that a company's brand is where it all comes from. And if we go back to the source of the brand, that it makes sense to use all those various disciplines to engage the brand within the community. So if you don't feel that you can articulate your brand, or you don't feel your brand is communicating what you want into your audiences, then you're not starting at the right place to connect in the right way, to create the right experience and the right interaction with your potential customers. So that's why we're here today. We're here today to talk about what is a brand. And if you're in the place where you might want to create one, then this is going to be a great start for you in order to answer some questions that will help you then maybe go to a designer, go to an agency, and have them create a logo and start to build out a brand profile for you. Or if you have a great brand, like the Springfield Chamber, because we created it. This exercise will either remind you of the work that we did together, Bonnie, or it is going to just help you dig a little deeper into understanding what your brand is and be able to articulate it. Because really what a brand is what separates you from all of your other competitors. It is the look, feel, experience, story, words, visuals, everything. Some people would even say the sounds and the smells of what your company is about. If you could talk about your brand as a person, what would it look like? What would it feel like? What would the experience be like? And the reason why that's important is because just like two people can't be the same, two brands are not exactly the same. And we can't all offer different necessarily products and services that, I mean, you could say one widget is similar to another widget, but the essence of that and what went into that and what created that and how it expresses itself into the world is going to be different, just like two people are different. So, you know, you might choose to, I'm looking at Jenny over there, so I might say you could work with one banker versus another banker, right? And they maybe offer the same things and they maybe offer even the same rates, but they're two different people and there's two different brands and two different companies. So which one as a customer do I want to work with? What do I like working with that person and that brand and what they have to offer when I walk into the People's Bank building? Or do I want to work with somebody else at a different bank and what they offer and what their food is? And the more you can dig into who you are within that brand and what you uniquely express within that brand, the better idea you're giving to your potential customers of why they would want to choose you over somebody else who offers something similar, on at least on the outside. So I'm gonna get going because 20 minutes is gonna go by pretty fast. So let's look at the questionnaire. First of all, I want to say this questionnaire was posted, I think, or sent out or something in advance. So there's no right or wrong answer here, but I'm just curious. Has anybody done the homework of filling this out in advance? Okay, good. Then we'll think about that we're doing it together right now. So the first question on that questionnaire is, what is your question? Share your company's story. Sharing your company's story can help you better connect with your audience. What is the story of your business? This business that you can see up here is Helfrich McKenzie Rafting. Some of you know Johnny, who's this woman right here, and this is her daughter. And they are switching generations so that the daughter is the one that will be running things. It's the third. I should read the copy. It's either third or fourth generation of their family on the river, and that's the dad right there. So as you can see with the hats they're wearing, that's an authentic experience. And why we created this brand here with that kind of cowboy hat and the raft, and the cowboy with the little hat with the little water on the side of the hat, is that we don't know anybody else that has that kind of experience on the river. Yet when you're on the river with them, you'll see them in those hats. So, and similar to, I will say, Springfield Chamber is probably the number one. I just have to say, you guys have embraced your brand, maybe better than any other that we've ever done. You've done a tremendous job. I mean, every time I come here, there's more things added so that you have expressed your brand, and it's great. Every time you see one of them, they're in their colors, they're in their hats, they're doing their thing. And so if, you know, you're walking around town and you see somebody in a cowboy hat, or certainly if you're along the river, you're going to know that it's McKenzie Rafting. But what is your story? You know, do you have something like, this is how many years you've been around, this is how many family members are in it, this is the multi-generation. Is there a unique differentiator of how you do your business, or what you wear, or what your personality is like, that can inform this essence of your brand? Values. What are the values of your company? So core values are something that maybe you have talked about with your mission, vision, values kind of conversation. And that should definitely go into what your brand should express, because that is foundational to who you are as a business. This is for Riverview, which used to be the Child Center. So their values are extremely important to them. Their mission to provide support for emotional and behavioral healing to strengthen individual families in our community. They came to us with a rebrand. So their values: we value each individual, we value diversity, equity, and inclusion, we value hope, healing, and preservation. We believe in the power of partnerships and community, and we believe in each individual's ability to participate in their own growth and change. The Child Center no longer fit as a name for them, because they were serving the whole family, as you can see. And also teenagers who don't like to be called child. They don't want to go to a child center. It kind of made them feel like they were going to daycare or something like that. So after a very long time of going under the Child Center, they made a brave move of changing the name, because people knew them, what we call brand equity. They knew the name Child Center, but they didn't feel like it fit them anymore. So they went through the difficult exercise of coming up with a new name and expressing their new brand. And they feel, what's great about them, and I say this again about the Springfield Chamber, is that it seemed to give them a boost of like, this is who we are. Like, they feel better about who they are now, because it expresses truly who they are, whereas before they sort of were apologizing for it. So sometimes it can even give you an internal boost of energy, and you sort of stand up a little taller as employees and owners of your businesses when you feel like you're putting your best self forward. It's kind of like wearing something that you feel good about. Consider your key competitors. Who do you want your audience to see? Who do you want your audience to see that is unique about your organization? So this one is for Oak Hill School. They had defined that they have small class sizes and low teacher to student ratios, scenic 72-acre campus. Those are all pretty unique qualities for a school. Nurturing teachers who hold advanced degrees, natural world program and outdoor pursuits, foreign languages starting in kindergarten, technology, music, theater, and visual arts, physical education, athletics, and activities. So they felt like those 7 things set them apart from other school experiences and helped to define their brand. What are some of the other things for you that define who you are? And again, even if this never makes it on some official document, for you to know that and to go out to talk about it with your potential customers is only going to help you, again, help your customers know who you are and why they might want to choose you. Who is your target audience? This is the brand and website that we did for 15th Night. 15th Night helps keep youth off of the streets. And they've determined that if youth are on this, unhoused for that 15th night, then they will be much more prone to be chronically unhoused. So they strive to keep youth off the streets for that 15th night. They are a very youth-informed organization. They have what they call a YAC. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Youth Action Council. And the youth really decide what this organization is going to do and how they go about it within the schools. So an example of that is they knew that kids, shouldn't call them kids, youth needed clothes. And it used to be that you'd have to go ask a teacher to unlock a closet in the back of the school, and there might be some clothes that were there that somebody had donated. And nobody felt good about that. And then when you wore that sweater or sweatshirt, it could be that somebody else would recognize that that was their old sweater or sweatshirt, and that would be embarrassing. There's that shame aspect. So the Youth Action Committee Council decided that twice a year, everybody's going to bring in their clothes and everybody's going to exchange clothes. So it's just become a more normalized thing that you were wearing my sweatshirt and I'm wearing yours. And it's just because I kind of got tired of it, right? It's not just because I had to get a new sweatshirt. They have instead of having an official food pantry for the kids who actually need extra food, they've turned it more into a coffee shop. And you can just kind of come by and get some food if you want to. And they invited the football players to stop by in the opening of this coffee shop so that it could make it a little bit more normal for everybody else to come by. So I say all that to say that the youth were informing it, but they didn't feel, the youth weren't supportive of the brand that it was. They felt like it was depressing the way that it was. They felt that it was dark, and they wanted to express something that was hopeful. And the point being is that the brand before was for grownups, and this brand is for the youth. So knowing who your target audience is really important. And I'll tell you, we had to work with these youth. I mean, got to work with these youth. And it was we learned as much as they did. Like, we knew how to do the brand, but we didn't know who they were and what they wanted and how they wanted to express it. And we had to do a lot of listening and a lot of iteration to get to a point that they felt good about it, where it was reflecting who they were. What are your audience's needs and preferences, and how can you serve them? What brand is that? This is the Springfield Chamber. So, boy, I could go on and on about this process. It was really a great one. And I am so honestly proud of this chamber for the brand that they chose. These colors are not typical Chamber of Commerce colors. Probably don't see them anywhere else in the country. The concept of open doors, we almost stumbled upon it, didn't we? I mean, we went through some official processes, but this kind of just came out, and one of the concepts that we were looking at, and was like, yeah, that's it. That's what this chamber does, is they open doors. And And you even heard it. I don't know if that's part of the branding that you incorporate into your talks, but it was like, you basically say it. We're the place that opens doors for everywhere that you, everything, every service, everything you can need as a small business, you come to us, we'll open the door for you. And you see how they've incorporated that in everything that they are. So that is what sets this chamber apart, and they've incorporated everything. So what is it that can set you apart to be able to speak to your audience and say, the chamber decided that their audience of people needs them to open doors, and they're really good at that because they're connected to all the other businesses. What is it that you can do that can help your audience with their needs? Turning the page. What is the primary message you want to send with your brand? So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you decide is your name and your mark, which is the actual, TG or whatever it is that is yours. What is that? What is the message that you want to send to your potential audience? And then what do you like and not like about your current brand? And I think maybe in the next talk, we're going to talk about maybe some ways that you can look at different options out there. You can use AI to help you think through some of those things. And if you do that, then you'll be better prepared. And honestly, it'll cost you less money and take you less time when you go to a designer to create your brand. So knowing what you like and what you don't like. What are 3 adjectives that you would say describe your personality? Again, if your brand were a person, how would you describe them? This is this Riverview Center for Growth. Approachable, professional, and compassionate. Those were the adjectives that we centered around when we created that particular brand. What adjectives would you use for your business? So this one is a kind of fun sliding scale. What would you like the tone of your brand to be? So we're on the spectrum between traditional and modern, fun and serious, casual and luxury, and masculine and feminine. And you can kind of mark it there, right now, if you want to, just to say what you think your personal, well, you could do your personal or your business brand would be. Just looking at from casual to luxury, you can kind of see that the Helfrich one is pretty casual and the Oak Hill one is a little bit more luxury. And in this case, I don't know, maybe I would say professional versus luxury, but you get the point of how they have a totally different kind of feel based on the tone of what they want to portray out to the community. Oak Hill being a school, they want it to be more, buttoned up and put together and seen as a professional, but not so serious that you, this is not the serious and fun category, but you would say maybe they wanted to be a bit more professional / luxury on this scale, but on the fun and serious, they might want to be somewhat serious, but somewhat fun because it's kids. And so that's where you got to have those kind of conversations of where do you want to be within the tone and why. What other brands inspire you? And it doesn't have to be just your industry. If you were coming to us and we said, show us some websites that you like, because that's just easy for people. And then we can see what logos and brand, and usually, hopefully the website is expressing the brand well. And here's a whole wide variety. A really good example of branding though, right, is the swoosh. Or that Starbucks coin. You see that anywhere and it means something to you. And it doesn't just mean coffee. It doesn't just mean shoes. They've invested a lot in their branding to make you think of whatever it is that comes to mind, and hopefully what they want you to come to mind with. So think about that when you're looking at other brands. And if you're like me, you won't be able to stop at some point. You just keep looking at all the brands and the banners and the logos and everything else, and you stare at them forever and you look stupid to other people, but it's good. It's good. And think about not only what you like, but why and what aspects when you're looking at these. And what you don't like. What you don't like is as helpful as what you do like. Eliminating is often even more helpful than picking the actual one. Colors. Colors make you feel. They bring emotion with it. And if you can tell us or tell yourself what it is that you what colors you like and think about why you like those colors. Like some colors are warm, some colors are cold, some colors make you feel warm and fuzzy, some make you feel sterile, but also maybe professional, or they have a different connotation to them. So colors are super important, and it's not just about the logo, it's about all the supporting colors that come with the brand. Like when you look around at the Springfield Chamber, you see there's purples and oranges, but there's also supporting colors that come with it. And it gives you a sense and a feel for them that are, I probably shouldn't say purple and orange. My designers would call them much different colors than that. Sorry. I apologize. I think we decided that was not orange, it was brick. That's what we decided. I'm so sorry. And also fonts or typefaces have their own unique qualities to them. And if you've never dug down the rabbit trail of noticing that there's all kinds of different fonts out there, start noticing. And there's little serifs, so those little things that come off of the little doohickers that come off of the letters, and sometimes they're not there. So you would see in the Springfield Chamber, there are no serifs. But so that is right, that is sans serif, no serifs. Whoever said that, sorry, I heard it come over here. Or it's either sans serif or serif, and there's just all kinds of new fonts that come out all the time. Designers can create fonts, so fonts have something important to do within your brand as well. Marketing channels, where will you be seen? Where will you be using your brand? These days, social media is almost a given, but will you be doing print ads? Will you be doing billboards? Where will it go? And if you don't know, that's okay too. If you're going to be doing merchandise, like if you're going to have shirts that have your name or logo on them, that's important to know. Really, a brand should be useful for any particular use that you need, but sometimes certain businesses have very unique uses, and you want to think about that and express that to your designer if that's applicable to you.
Dina, we're at about 20 minutes.
Okay.
We've got about 5 minutes for Q&A, or if you want to finish up. And
That's great. Actually, I'm pretty much done, so that's good. So brand guidelines are the last thing, and that is something that you should expect if you work with a designer, because it's not just the logo, it's all the ways that you use the logo and the colors and your fonts and the typefaces and the supporting elements when you're actually using them in your materials and things like that. Do you want me to take questions now?
Yeah, we've got about 5 minutes for questions. If folks have them.
Any questions? Yes.
So one of the things that I run into, this is just using like Canva and very, very basic kind of brand creation tools, is fonts is a great example of it not being very uniform across channels, right? So the font that I'm using in Canva, when I bring that into Word's like, I don't know what that is. We have one that's close and we'll approximate that, and it's called something completely different. So how do you do that? How do you, like, with colors, we have, thank God for Pantone, we have like numbers and we figured out how to do that universally. But with fonts, there's really, everybody and their brother creates a new font or whatever. So how do you do that? How do you keep that, like that brand guide, how do you keep that consistent across channels?
What we would do in the guidelines is give you a definition of the fonts that are being used in the actual build out of the logo, and then give you some alternate choices for fonts for usability in things like Word or your website that are going to have more limited options. So they coordinate, and because it's in the guidelines, they're acceptable. And then maybe AI can tell us which fonts we can use. I don't know. Yes.
And actually, on that, and I know we're gonna talk more about it, but in your perspective, given what you're seeing, how is AI changing what you're doing? What you're seeing?
We use AI, and we were just talking about this. We use AI quite a bit, actually. Our team was resistant at first, maybe like some of you or your teams. It can take away business. If you think about it, I could have put in AI, give me a presentation on branding, and it could have spit something out. And if that's what we do, then you could see that as removing business. But I said to my team, we need to do it better than anybody else, and we need to embrace it and get more efficiencies. It's not about taking more time just because we can. Let's maybe be more efficient about it. So I will tell you, we use it a lot, but I'll tell you one particular use. We recently were doing a campaign for Safe Lane, which is they're trying to discourage driving under the influence and distracted driving and speeding. So we were coming up with campaign options for them, and we used AI to generate 3 or 4 campaign options. Instead of taking a whole bunch of time to build out all the concepts, we used AI to say, approximate some of these images. And these are the look and feel of what we're trying to convey. And then we took those to the client, and honestly, it didn't matter if the one person had 6 fingers on their hand, right? Which is what AI does. We were just looking for a general look and feel, and then they said, we like that one. Now that one, instead of all 4, is what we dug into and actually built into the actual campaign. So we just quick and easy to give some options, and then we got to work on the one instead of all 4. Yeah.
Do you have a recommendation for a startup company that maybe has limited capital to do this?
I think you should answer that question. We'll get to that. Yeah.
Is it possible to overexpose your breath?
I'm sure it's possible because extremes of anything are probably a bad thing, but I can't, can you give me an example?
Oh, gosh, in my industry, I have people that want me to make contact in the marketplace with other businesses, like on a monthly basis.
Oh.
To me, I think it's, I don't agree with that. I think it maybe quarterly or semi-annually. I think there's a point where you push the brand a little bit too hard and you're gonna turn people off. But that's just my opinion.
So my opinion is the brand is what it is, and then you're using tactics to use that brand out in the marketplace, and you could be, or your whoever you're talking to could be using a tactic of sales or email or direct mail or whatever it is
It's all.
more than they should, but that's not necessarily overexposing the brand, that's overusing a particular channel or particular
But
tactic.
isn't the brand wrapped up in that contact?
Sure, and you can think about, yeah, one more, and then we gotta go.
In industries where a person is sort of their brand, like a real estate agent, how hard is a logo versus using your photo around everything? Like how important, obviously there's maybe some brand of the same color and fonts, but like consistency, but logo versus somebody's photo, their brand is really themselves, selling, that.
I worked in real estate briefly, so I do have thoughts on that one. What can I say quickly? My opinion is to use the logo of the company that you're with and to distinguish yourself. I think photo is good. I also think you can come up with a personal brand for that, where you have some of these distinguishing qualities figured out. You are communicating why somebody might want to pick you versus somebody else. So it's not just about a visual. But, it can be about what's your personality, what's your style, what do you offer that others don't offer? So all this stuff still plays into that, but from a visual standpoint, I don't think you need a logo. My opinion. All right, I'm gonna be done.
Thank you, Dana. Okay, next up, I think you all know what we're talking about, and Casey's got a list of questions she's gonna start answering right off of that. So Casie Brabham graduated from the U of O in 2012 with her degree in English. Immediately after graduation, she moved to Mexico, where she taught business English for 3 years. Upon returning, she continued to run her own small business and joined the Lane Small Business Development Center. And because of her background in social media and online sales, she specializes in marketing and business planning. Casie, thank you for joining us.
I want to set some boundaries around this presentation. Mainly, Paige said we were experts. I am not an AI expert. I am an expert in some things, but not AI. Because no one really is at this point. So yay. So really my goals today are, one, to make sure you're familiar with our services. I'm from the Lane Small Business Development Center. As Paige said, we have lots and lots of resources, which we'll talk about just briefly as we go through this. But also just kind of open your mind to some of the AI things that are happening in hopefully a positive way. I think that AI elicits a lot of feelings in people, depending on the industry or what we're talking about. So just know that I'm not here to promote AI in any way. I just want to show you what we're hearing, what we're doing at LCC and at the SBDC, and kind of direct you towards resources. So don't throw anything at me and all of that. So Paige already introduced me, but I have been with the SBDC almost 9 years now. I've done just about everything. Roger's here. I love Roger. He has been my mentor. I credit him for a lot of where I am today, kind of sucking up. Anyway, so just so you know, I have background in a lot there at the college. So as I said, we're just going to explore a few things, but we're going to kind of look at graphics, writing, social media, and websites. The other thing is, when Marianne asked me about doing a presentation with marketing, and I'm sure you felt the same way, it's such a huge topic. Marketing is a huge topic, AI is a huge topic, so we're trying to just give you quick little snippets. And sort of with marketing, the biggest topics with AI are graphics, writing, social media, and websites. So we're just going to kind of touch on the tools that are coming out. As I said, we're the SBDC. I don't expect you to read that. But we are a network of services. And the reason I wanted to bring this up now is our office here is Lane County. We serve all of Lane County. But we are not at the forefront of AI for the SBDC, not right now. There is another center. I can't remember, Roger, if you remember. I think it was Columbia Gorge, but yeah, it's sort of heading AI. And so if we don't have the class through our center, you are able to tap into our network and take classes from other centers. Most of us took the AI course through Columbia Gorge. Most of it's remote, so it is open to you. So if you're interested in diving deeper into this or connecting with anyone on AI, you still can connect with our office and we will let you know how to take those classes. So I just wanted to share that with you. And in general, that's true about a lot of our services. We may not be the ones doing it, but we'll know where. So things like manufacturing, global trade, Roger's taking over succession planning. So there's all kinds of things. If we don't have it at our center, we know who does, and you can access those services as a network. Okay, AI tools. So one of the big takeaways for me when I started learning about AI for our department is that really ChatGPT, the one that you pay for, I think it's 4.0 right now, but I'm sure it's gonna be more than that by the time we all get there, will pretty much do everything. But there are also some unique AI tools that do maybe one thing. And so we are going to talk about those kind of briefly. It would be fun to experiment with them, but we don't have time. So I just want you to know that ChatGPT will do almost all of this also. So if you're looking for one central place to kind of experiment with AI, you should be fine with just using ChatGPT to do that. But as I said, there's some interesting other tools. So as Dana said, one of the things that I like most about AI is as a brainstorming tool. So it's not really at a point where it's going to finish a polished logo for you. Or a name, but there are really fun tools where, let's say you don't know what you want to name your business. You can go and do kind of like what you did on that worksheet, put in some keywords, put in some colors you like, and have it generate ideas for you. Those ideas can then be taken to Turell Group or another marketing firm that can polish it up and create the end result for you. So if brainstorming is something that you would like help with, there's a bunch of tools for that. Logo AI is one. I don't think it's .com, but maybe it is. Most of them are someword.ai, and that's the website. generating content for social media and blogs. So what I was most excited about, which is probably gonna be interesting to you, I have a degree in English. So I don't like short form anything. I'm like, let's use great punctuation and long words and blah, blah, but nobody wants to read anymore. So, you know, you really only want to use one sentence at the most. You lose people after, what is it, like 8 seconds, which is hard for me to accept. But, so you'll be surprised that actually what I really like, what I was excited about is the tools to help people with writing. So a lot of what people hire, not necessarily marketing firms, but writers to do is write their bio. Rogers, not hired me, he didn't pay me, but I've done it for Roger. He's like, I don't write my bio. Use your natural. But that excites me because I hear from a lot of clients, like, I don't really know how to write my bio. I don't know how to make it sound exciting. Maybe I don't know punctuation or grammar very well. There's amazing writing tools with AI now where you can say, here's some facts about me. I went to college this, I graduated, blah, blah, blah. Generate a 500-word bio about me. And of course, hopefully you know yourself well enough to go through and proofread it, but it should put it together really nicely for you. So I actually am excited about the writing tools and for social media as well. So writing posts, we're going to talk about in a minute where they're already integrated. But I'm excited about writing. And again, I listed a bunch there, but you can still do it with all ChatGPT as well. Creating a website, I think, is probably one of the more complicated ones that I'm not super excited about. And I don't think developers are super excited about you having AI build your website. But if you have a very basic website, or maybe that's the only way you can get one up and off the ground, this site Durable is one that will build it for you. Again, you just put in some content information and it generates it for you. So kind of exciting for those of us that maybe that's not our skill. So this happened to me the other day and I thought it'd be really fun for you guys to see. I typed into ChatGPT, generate an image of a daycare center. Look at this wonderful daycare center image that I could use. Okay, so I thought I was pretty specific. Generate an image of a daycare center. But then, yeah, I zoomed in on their faces. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's not gonna work. So I did want to express to you that do not take what first comes out. Like Dana said, 6 fingers are happening a lot. 2 hooves on a pig is happening a lot. And I imagine this is going to only get better. So this is where we're at right now. This was just like 3 days ago. So when we're afraid of jobs being taken, maybe, but it's not right now because this is what it's generating. It doesn't mean you can't go back and try to get it to do better. It often doesn't do better though. Like, I think I went back and I said, their faces are weird, make their faces better. And it just made it worse. So just know that when you are generating images, you do need to check them very carefully. It tends to do better with a little bit more general, but still, I mean, chairs have 3 legs often. So just keep that in mind. This was another one. I said, create me a logo for my taco truck business. And it said, I'd love to help. I called it Waco's Tacos, but yeah, so I said that, right, for my taco truck business, and then it said, we'd love to help you, can you give us some more information, which I thought, well, that's a good sign, it wants to clarify. So I said, here's the name, here's the colors I want, here's the vibe I want, which is similar to the form that you got, right, and I want tacos and flags, and this is what it put out, and it's not horrible. But I was like, what are these numbers? 13 something 3. Some blurry, which maybe was intentional. I don't know. But again, I just wanted you to see like how it will generate something. It's at this point, it's not probably going to be your end result. Yeah.
Is this ChatGPT?
Yeah. and just so you know, for our department, ChatGPT does have a team program, I don't know what you call it, where you sign your team up and it's a fee to pay for it as a team and you all have access to that. So it does cost to have the 4.0 at this point, and I highly recommend if you're going to use it to pay for it, because the free version does not do much at all, not even close. So, you know, I think it's $20 a month per person. So just something to think about. It is fun to play with, but it does take quite a while for it to do exactly what you're actually intending it to do. Okay, so those are images. Those are the goods and the bads of the images. Generating content. So these are just some things to think about with content. It can help you with ideas. Like I said, I like it for brainstorming. That to me is the best part of it right now. Implementing, sure. So helping you analyze when you should post on social media can be great. Analyzing tools, again, are really just generating ideas. Like I said, analyzing, responding. So, you know, you may not realize this, but a lot of those little help guys that help you on different websites when something's gone wrong, most of them are AI first when they start talking to you and you're like, no, real person. I'm sure we've all done that, right? Human.
Often if you swear.
If you start swearing.
If you
Good tip.
swear at it.
It's a good tip.
It picks that up and it realizes you're more angry and
You're
it
mad.
makes you a human sooner.
Yeah, there you go, swear. Good tip.
You might be very good. It works about half the time for me.
You're revealing a lot to us. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because this is a tool you should consider using for your business also. Are there ways you can use those response tools to help you running your business, right? And then of course, planning. So this is one that we've been talking a lot about with business planning, and we'll look at how that's already kind of integrated, but analyzing data, and I know this is off topic with marketing, but analyzing profit and loss and things like that, analyzing your social media content. Those are other ways you can use AI to just help you brainstorm ideas. Writing. So this was an example I took from one of the classes that we had in our department. And I thought it was a pretty good one. He wrote in, the prompt was, in one paragraph, tell a potential customer why silly dilly beans are so good. And it generated this. And so if you're looking for copy for social media, you're looking for copy for your website, it is a good way to generate. I'm sure you can't see it. You guys send these slides out, right? They'll see it later. So you can go back and read in detail what it generated.
Pickles.
Yeah, those two good.
Right. So you have to, right?
Made from beans, these pickles are great.
Not sure that's not pickle. Okay. As I said, durable is the one right now, for building websites, is one of the ones being recommended. Also, I wanted to mention the SEO tools that are out there, that can help you analyze keywords, things like that. So again, the theme here is helping you analyze, helping you brainstorm ideas, not necessarily finished products at this point, is where I'm suggesting you explore. So I wanted to mention, AI integrations are already everywhere. You're probably using them and you may not even know you're using them. So I just pulled a few. Facebook ads now is generating different types of copy for your ads. So, you know, this is one from the Lane SBDC. So this is the existing text that I wrote. Oh boy, didn't like me touching it. This is the copy I wrote. I know you can't read it. It doesn't really matter. But what it did was, when I went to turn it into an ad, it said, well, what do you think of these variations of what you wrote? And they're analyzing what they're suggesting based on what they think Facebook viewers are going to respond to maybe better than what you wrote. So it is, again, just a suggestion. Facebook is also allowing you to go with what you originally wrote, but let them try out the other ones. And if they find that one is performing better, then they'll go with that one. So that's already there. That is built in already as something you can use. Canva, which a lot of you are hopefully familiar with, has AI already integrated with writing tools. Their image tools have a lot of AI already in it. I found doing it through Canva sometimes actually works better to keep those faces real and the fingers on. So that's a place to explore. LivePlan, which is business planning software that we use for our business planning class, already has AI integrated into it. We don't recommend you let AI write your business plan without looking it over either yourself or with an advisor. But it's already there. And the way that we've seen that help clients is, again, helping them generate ideas maybe they didn't already think about, or help fine tune their writing skills. So resources. Currently, main campus of LCC has what's called their Fusion Lab. This is where they're allowing students or our clients to come in and explore AI tools in an environment with an instructor that's at the forefront of AI for the college. So if you want to go into a computer lab and play with tools and have someone there to work on it with, that's available to you. We're hoping that we're going to also have that at the downtown center at some point, sort of a staffing thing at this point. But we want that for our clients also at the downtown center. So that's available. They also have a wonderful website that they've created where you can go in and see what prompts other people are using. You can put your own prompts in there. It's a really exploratory site for you to see what people are doing and get resources through them. So that's up there. As I said, there are classes through our network. I think there's another one coming up starting in October. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We can direct you to how to register for that. The college also has an AI task force currently working on issues that are really more related to academics that we don't really have a hand in, like writing papers in AI, not really a thing for us. But some of that is important in our department. So one of the things that we have had to talk about, and there's no answer at this point, is what are we doing with clients that are creating businesses around AI? So I have a client that's creating products from AI art. It's like, nobody really knows, is this legal, not legal? Should we say something? Should we be involved in that conversation? I imagine if a client walked in and said, I stole all his stuff and turned it into this, we'd be like, probably don't do that. But with AI, it's hard. It's hard to say, you know, he's putting images on tote bags and t-shirts and so there's a lot of task forces forming. All of this is new for all of us, and we're all trying to figure out where we fit in that. So again, we may not know, but we definitely want you to come to us with your questions and concerns so that we can better formulate our responses and our policies. And so as So as you know, or you don't know, we offer free confidential advising, one-on-one advising. And so you just have to make an appointment. And it's pretty much unlimited to you. So, you know, if you have something you want to work through over time, some of us have been working with certain clients for years and years and years. So don't be a stranger. I have cards, Roger probably has cards, or you can get a hold of us. We're at the downtown LCC building. Or you can scan that and make an appointment with me if you want. Otherwise, questions? Thoughts, feelings? Yeah.
At those kind of sessions, will they advise you, say, on your website design?
Good question. So our advising is really about where to go, what resources, and to help you analyze things. We don't really do the work for you. So if you're talking about, I built a website, will you look at it with me and give me feedback or proofreading? We can do that. But as far as sit there with you and build your website with you, no, that's not what we do. Other questions? Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I kind of went down the AI rabbit hole a little too far, so this might be a little bit more. I'm
Sure.
just curious in terms of you guys, the SBDC. When you're dealing with business, in my view, AI isn't going to be just a tool to use, businesses are going to use AI, all of them.
Sure.
So how far are you guys looking in terms of integrating AI functions, AI, all these things into business?
Well, we won't necessarily be integrating anything for them, but one of the things that has come up for our department is, I guess there are SBDCs in other states that are already integrating AI into their advising process. So they are note-taking, they are analyzing. We are not doing that yet for privacy reasons. It's not in place yet for us to guarantee confidentiality. But yeah, it's coming, you know, I imagine there will be a lot of integrations in the programs we use. So as I said, LivePlan is the software we use. I know Roger's already, you know, worked more with clients on using that generating tool in a business plan. We also had the guy that does the Fusion Lab did some things with us, and we were able to like put in someone's profit and loss statement and have it analyze it for us. And it's quite interesting, you know. It's very cool. But again, you do need at this point still someone to look at that with you. I would not go based on what it said. Okay, this is how I'm gonna plan my business. But yeah, I mean, it's coming. It's definitely being integrated into what we do. Yeah.
Is there a specific way to communicate with AI? Is there a certain language that you need to use in order for it to be more helpful?
So there's all kinds of material out there, but that's why I would go to the Fusion Lab, because they have sort of kept a running, they have like a, what do they call it? It's like a prompt thing. Yeah, I don't know what to call it. But you can go in there and see the best way to make prompts and things like that. In my experience, it's been all over the board. You know, you think you're being clear, and it's like, well, that's not what I meant, you know? So I don't know yet that there is a perfect way to do it, but there are definitely people like at the Fusion Lab that are trying to formulate formulas for prompting it and generating what you're actually trying to get it to do. Yeah. It also, when you have your own account, will understand you. And that was one thing that I thought was interesting when if you share an account with somebody, like a child or something, it's gonna generate things that are gonna be very different than maybe if just, because what was funny with Kevin when he was doing that with us, we were asking him to do all these different things, and he's like, you guys are messing up what my AI now knows about me, because now I'm putting in all this weird stuff that I wouldn't normally be prompting it to do. So that's the other part. Like, you may get it just right. Like, oh yeah, now I know how to communicate with the AI. And then you do some random thing for a friend, and now it totally doesn't know who you are. You know? Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah, for small businesses in particular who have maybe.
Now I get individual.
So what is what's your advice on don't putting proprietary information? What's the healthy sort of, don't put it in the open AI proprietary information, or?
I don't think it's gonna matter. So one of the things that Tia and I were talking about, so not to be like doom and gloom, but the things that are scaring me about AI are things like generating someone's voice. So I can record your voice for 15 seconds and then I can generate you saying anything I want you to say. I'm not sure what that impact is going to have on things like politics, on things like businesses where I don't like you, so now I'm going to generate you saying something racist or something horrible, and I'm going to put it out there. Same with video. You can now take a video of someone for 15 seconds, you can put it in there, and you can have them doing whatever you want. So there was a case of children, well, I say children, they were teens, doing that with pornography and their fellow students. So there is a lot happening, and it is important to understand those things. I don't know legally how that's going to change, but the reason I'm bringing that up is I don't know that we can necessarily protect if it is out there as our business, as our logo, as our voice. It's going to be really hard to protect it. At this point, there's not really a lot of laws. Oh.
Is there a technical way, if you have two recordings, one is a person their actual voice, and then the other is the AI trying to imitate or copy it. Is there a way to differentiate which is real and which is?
It's all perception, not at this point.
Stay suspicious.
Yeah, be more suspicious than we already were,
Yeah, I.
you know? Yeah, so I don't know.
You know, keep your friends closer, your enemies closer, right?
Yeah.
So don't ignore it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and I will say, so part of that conversation around client meetings and whatever was that you can put in client data to be analyzed, but don't put the business name, don't put their actual name. You know, we've been instructed that we can use Chat GPT to analyze data for a client, but do not put their actual business name in. So it could be just some random September business or whatever.
Waco
Taco. Waco Taco, exactly. Yeah, anything else? Yeah,
There's more than just Chat GPT.
sure.
Perplexity is another one. And I
Sure.
understand that one has some guardrails to it in terms of, content management.
The problem is even if one has guardrails and you're using it, it doesn't mean other people that aren't using guardrails, you know? So I mean, I'm assuming, again, this is outside of me, but I'm assuming we're gonna be seeing laws and policies and things, but we all know how quickly laws and policies move, and I don't know that it's gonna move fast enough before there could potentially be damage in a lot of different ways from AI, so, yeah.
I don't have a question, but I just wanna have a statement. Someone used one of my videos of me pushing my daughter in a swing and attached a vulgar message to it and send it out to a bunch of people. I didn't even know until all these people started contacting me. Was I mad at them? Why would I say those things to them? I'm told, I have any idea what you're talking about. Then they showed me the video of me pushing my daughter in a swing. It wasn't my voice, but it was still that they captured the video and attached a similar voice, but it wasn't mine.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, Roger. I know, what about Roger?
You know, somebody said, you know, there are other programs, yes, there are, you know, like Microsoft has 360. That you can subscribe, and then Google, and those are supposed, that's the enterprise program, which they make money on, so you're supposed to be protected. But I would still keep an eye on it, and the most important thing about AI is really, there's a lot of discussion, what do I get, what do you do? Just think about you operating your business, what is the most important thing you do? It's not what you know, it's the questions you ask. So when you do AI, think about the questions that you ask and really your mind that I'm saying, what do I want to get out of AI and what don't I want them to do? So just approach it that way. Don't look at it as too global, go right down to the basics, really focus on what you do. And in that way, it will give you some protection. But don't just go there.
But honestly, if your stuff's out there, anyone can put it in there for you, too, you know, so, yeah, it's hard. He's making me leave. We're at the hour.
Did you say happy hour? Paige? Paige?
Yes.
Did you say happy hour?
Stay for drinks. Yes. Stay for drinks. It's a little early for that, guys. Casie, Dana, thank you guys so much today. Round of applause. Huge topics, right? And these are really micro learning opportunities. I hope you guys walk away with just a couple of nuggets that you can take back to your business or to businesses that you work with on marketing tips and tricks. AI is going to be a conversation that we continue to have as a chamber and a business community. So exploring a lot of different angles. So, you know, look for more information on that through this program, through our roundtable programs. Speaking of which, we have a roundtable program next Tuesday at 4. It'll be just a casual Q&A with our Springfield Mayor, Sean Van Gordon. You know, the city of Springfield has a lot going on, and if you've got questions or things to share or want to find out more, I hope you guys join us. You can register online. Marianne is going to be sending out these presentations and the recording so that you guys can have all their contact info and all this information as well. And it'll be up on our Small Business Solutions Hub webpage too. So thank you again for joining us, and thanks to all our sponsors who helped make this happen.